All right, welcome back to the channel, everyone. So if you clicked on this video, I'm guessing you're one of the many photographers who over the last few years, especially this last year, has had to come to terms with the fact that Instagram is no longer a photo sharing platform. You know, they were serious when they said that they're shifting away from being a photo-centric platform to being a video-centric platform.
Video is driving an immense amount of growth online from all the major platforms right now. And it's one that I think we need to lean into more. But we're also going to be experimenting with how do we embrace video more broadly. Full screen, immersive, entertaining, mobile first video.
And if you're like me and many of my fellow photographers, you've slowly had to watch your engagement on your photograph posts go like this, while you've probably seen maybe your reels or other photographers who have embraced reels watching their engagement and their growth go like that. And that creates a bit of a conundrum for photographers, for people like us. And right up at the top, you know, I think it's worth saying before we get into all this, that likes and engagement are not always the measurement of a good photograph. I think we all know that as photographers. Some of my lowest performing photographs are some of my favorite. They're hung on the wall behind me. They've been my phone background. You know, they're just ones that I look back fondly. So because we are trying to create good engaging content does not mean that only photographs or videos that get likes are good photos. I think that part needs to be said clearly up front, because you can get kind of on a slippery slope of equating good photographs to liked photographs, and that's just not the case. Today we're talking about how to get more likes and engagement, not take or share better photographs. I hope that makes sense. So yeah, over the last few weeks, I have been really trying to embrace Reels. I've been trying to have more fun with them, trying to post them more, trying to explore some different formats, and come up with some ways of just turning my photographs into video content without doing the thing we all don't want to do. So the first one on the list is just the simple before and after. They look a little something like this. And to be honest, I really like this one. I mean, number one, it's pretty low effort on the photographer's part. You don't need to plan ahead. There's no forethought, no extra equipment. Literally, you just drop in your raw photo into Lightroom, export an unedited JPEG, do your edit with a preset or your own custom way of doing it, export that, drop those into a timeline, or I believe you can do it in the actual Instagram Reels editor itself. I don't use it very much. I just do it in Premiere, in Premiere Pro. Find a sound that I like, find where the transition happens. I use a cross dissolve or a wipe or something like that. Export it, upload it, and it's done. And it's kind of funny. I think we as photographers, we know what our raw photos look like, and we know the sort of latitude that you have through the editing process. So for us, it's a pretty ordinary thing to watch a pretty plain photo become artistic, or to become really highly moody or like colorized or something like that. But our audiences don't always know that, so they get to get a little peek behind the camera, peek behind the lens into that process. So that's a pretty good one. Number two on the list is taking a video of you taking your picture, just the back of your camera. That one looks a little like this. Yeah, this is actually pretty similar to the one we just talked about. You can actually sort of do these sequentially, like do the back of your camera into the raw photo, into the edited photo if you want, or you can just kind of do like the one I showed you guys, which is just the back of your camera into the edit. I don't think there's any sort of like camera magic happening here. You can probably figure out what I did, but you take your phone, you take your camera, and you do this. Ideally, you would probably have a lens on there. But yeah, you do this, bam. Drop that in a timeline, throw your edit on at the end, find some nice music or a nice sound for it, and that one's done. And I honestly think the appeal of that one is very similar to the one before. It shows kind of the plain scene through your phone camera lens, and then people get to see the sort of magic of your camera coming up and then the edited photo coming in. So again, nothing crazy, but if you can think ahead in that moment when you're standing at a nice sunset or a really beautiful landscape moment, just remembering to take a quick little video clip of you bringing your camera up and taking that photo. Really minimal forethought, and it can give your photograph post a really nice reel option if you choose to go down that path. And number 3 is the GoPro behind the scenes reel, and that looks a little something like this. Doing a little winter street photography here on a telephoto lens, which is not your usual street photography lens. Right at the gate, had an awesome photo of this lady here framed really naturally by the overhang. Now, this one is definitely the most work out of all of them. It also requires a little bit of extra equipment. This is a GoPro Hero 8. I don't know if you guys can see that. Honestly, I grabbed this one. I think it's like 2 or 3 generations old off of the Facebook Marketplace where I live for a couple $100. So it does not need to be state of the art. I think they're on the 10 or the 11th right now. Grab a 7 or 8 if you can. And then this little doohickey on the bottom here, that just allows it to be mounted into the cold shoe of your camera like so. Twist that down. Looks a little something like this. And then, yeah, you just kind of carry it around like that. And it just allows you to kind of document, again, that sort of behind the scenes, you know, what you're seeing versus what the camera sees. And people tend to really like it. You do need that GoPro. I've really enjoyed having one, to be honest. So outside of even just for the real content, these have been really cool to have for a couple extra shots on certain video shoots. Another way to do this one too is you can get what is called a hat clip for your GoPro. So this can clip onto your hat if you weren't wearing it backwards like a cool person. Or if you're wearing a backpack, you can clip it onto your backpack or your shirt just like that. And again, this would just kind of be sitting there like that. And the common thread, I think, with all of these is sort of like a behind the scenes. I think all of our audiences, whether you're a wedding photographer or an action photographer, a generalist, whatever, I think our audiences just want to see a little bit more from us. They want to see what we see and they want to see a bit more of our process. And these are just some ways to kind of turn our regular boring old photography posts into some behind the scenes interesting content that the Instagram algorithm is going to pick up a bit more. I know it sucks. Maybe it doesn't. Maybe you're excited about this. I know for many of the people around me, we're all kind of like, it is what it is, as we adapt and sort of, you know, relearn what we thought to be true about posting on Instagram and how that works. So yeah, I mean, I really hope this video was helpful. I just kind of threw this together last minute. It literally occurred to me when I was in the shower this morning. Hit that like button if you want to hit that like button. You know, it helps the channel out. Hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be trying to do more of these. You guys can tell I did two videos in the last week. That's pretty good. And yeah, we'll see you guys in the next one.